bullet to stop us now. We need a bed now. We won't bow. Neither can be bought nor sold. We all defend the right. Jah children must unite. Life is worth much more than gold. Ooh, yeah, we're jamming. And we're jamming in the name of the Lord. We're jamming. We're jamming. And we're jamming right straight from yon. We're shaking. Holy Mount Zion. Holy Mount Zion. Yeah! His foundation is in the whole of mountains. Jah loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things have been spoken of the O city of God. I'll make mention to Rahab and Babylon to them that know I. With the old Philistine Tyre, with Ethiopia, it shall be said that this man was born there. And the highest himself shall establish the earth. Jah Rastafari.
His fiery chant honored the holiness of Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia. Bob Marley, the third world's first international superstar, spread the music of reggae throughout the world, and with it, the revelations of his mystical Rastafarian faith. His songs were all parables, messages of faith and warning.
Say, men and people will fight you down when you see Jah light. Let me tell you, if you're not wrong, where everything is all right. So we're gonna walk through the roads of creation. We the generation tried through great tribulation in this exodus. Ooh, yeah. Movement of the people.
Bob's cry of exodus was a siren anthem to all the worlds down-pressed to leave the wickedness of Babylon and make the march back to the Holy Land of Ethiopia.
I think Bob Marley's message is toward universal peace, which I think is very good.
It's so positive. It's about the most positive spiritual force on this planet, as far as I'm concerned.
It's bringing a lot of people together, keeping us together, which is what we need right now.
As Bob finished off a blistering set, he carried a secret he chose not to share with the world. Bob Marley had cancer. The fiery tough gong, who as a kid conquered the slums of West Kingston and led the Wailers to worldwide glory, was now almost 35. Said to be gifted at prophecy since childhood, Bob predicted he would die at 36. Now listen to Bob's prophecies and messages, recorded in America in 1979 and stored in a vault until now.
Mr. Marley, in November 1930, almost 49 years ago to the day, Rastafari was crowned King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Haile Selassie, King of Ethiopia. In 1955, 25 years later, the emperor set aside 500 acres of land for black peoples of the West who wished to return to the motherland. Now my question is, what importance should these facts have for black people of the world?
What important facts is these things that black people know?
Yes.
First fact is that them are planning in Africa, right? Next fact is that Christ. No, the whole thing is when Christ then will return as the King of Kings, the Lords of Lords, the conquering Lion of Judah. I see His Majesty as the Christ the Bible talks about.
Bob always performed with a banner of the emperor behind him. Before Selassie was crowned emperor, he was called Ras, or Prince, Tafari, hence the name of the Rastafarian faith.
The Rastafarian movement started at the same time when you see His Majesty crowned King of Kings, the name Rastafari.
Yes.
That's when the Bible revealed Him and the whole thing get together.
Yes.
So that is when the Rastafarian movement.
Africa, unite, cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our father's land. How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man to see the unification of all Rastaman. As it's been said already, let it be done. We are the children of the Rastaman. We are the children of the I am one. So, Africa, unite. Africa, unite, yeah. Unite for the benefit of our people, cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our father's land.
The father's land was Ethiopia, ruled by Selassie in an unbroken line of kings that stretched back 3,000 years to the time of Solomon and Sheba.
Unification of all Africans. Marcus Garvey said it, so let it be done. I know you know who you are under the sun. We are the children of the Rastaman. We are the children of the I am one. So
The foundations of Rastafarianism were established in the teachings of Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican firebrand who started the influential Back to Africa movement in the early 1900s. In Psalm 68, Garvey found a sign. Princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey. So we must look to the king, look for a king in the east. Black king. 1930, His Majesty crowned. And I cite him because that's when Marcus Garvey always deal with Africa. So, you know, it's just the truth, you know. You see, the wrong thing about it is that Christ, him come from Africa, and him always born July. You know, Christ is always a lion. Everyone who sit on the throne of King David have to be a lion. Judah.
July was the sign of Judah, the lion. Rastafarians believe Christ was born in July, as was Selassie, the lion of all lions.
Africa, you're my forefather on a stone. Unite for the Africans abroad. Unite for the Africans a yard. Africa, Africa.
See, Rome fight it, you know. Rome just fight Ethiopia to set up Rome. So Rome become a symbol in everyone's imagination, in a sense, instead of Ethiopia. In Addis Ababa, which part the reality, not the follow, the real thing come from before men get idea so things like this could happen. You know, that's where the root had come from.
Garvey electrified huge crowds in Harlem, New York, with his cry, "One God, one aim, one destiny. Ethiopia, land of our fathers." But it wasn't long before American blacks began turning away.
He came, he lost his culture, his identity, everything. He became a slave. He grew into freedom. Now, the white person has always been living his normal life, his normal growth ever since, right? The black man now getting his freedom, he's trying so hard to balance with the white man. He's trying to prove that he's just as good, he's just as he's all that. So he's looking so far away from Rasta, in the opposite direction, right? No, the white people now, they have already experienced middle class, this middle class, that. So they know what's happening in the world. So they have time to really go and check out the Rasta saying. They can really, they see it a lot more, to me, a lot more white people have understood or been attracted to Rasta than blacks in America, you know?
But Garvey's roots message quickly took hold in Jamaica. It spread throughout the lush countryside and even came to 9 Miles, a northern hamlet set amongst Eden-like beauty and desperate poverty. It was there, on February the 6th, 1945, that Robert Nesta Marley was born. His father, an English army captain, abandoned him shortly after his birth, and he was raised on a small farm by his mother, Sedella, and grandfather, Omariah. At the age of 7, Bob was sent to West Kingston to obtain a grade school education, and there, in the teeming slums, Bob discovered music, becoming part of the ska craze in the early 60s. He formed a vocal group with Bunny Livingston and Peter Tosh, calling them the Wailers, because, he said, they were all born crying. Proudly displayed at all his performances were banners that reflected the 3 fundamental symbols of Bob's Rasta faith: Garvey, Selassie, and the flag of Ethiopia. On stage, one could always see the colors of the Rasta movement: green for the color of the land, black for the skin of its people, red for the blood they had shed, and gold for the sun overhead. And always at the center, the Lion of Judah, defiant and unconquerable.
Every man think that his burden is the heaviest. Every man think that his burden is the heaviest. But I still...
Africa must unite, you know? The only place in Africa that never been colonialized is Ethiopia, ever since. So if Africa going to unite, then we have to unite towards His Majesty, you know, that ideology where His Majesty have. So the whole thing I and I deal with is to show the people the truth.
Feel it in the one drop, and we still find time to rob. We're making a one-stop. The generation gap, so feel this drum beat as it beats within, playing a rhythm, resisting against the system, singing, I know Jah never let us down. Pull your rights from wrong.
It's the first natural way of living before man take power to himself, you know. Rasta way. Before man join anything. Free art, Rasta, you know.
They made their world so hard. Every day, the people are dying. Dread for hunger and starvation. Lamentation. But read it in Revelation. You'd find your redemption. Come on. Give us the teachings of His Majesty. We no want.
In 1964, Garvey died and was accorded a hero's funeral in Kingston. His followers, the Garveyites, walked behind his casket, which was topped by a black star, the symbol of his movement. His legacy, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, lived on.
We're making a one-stop, and we're filling the gap, so feel this drum beat as it beats with it, blinding a rhythm, fighting against ism and schism, singing. I know, Jah would never let us down.
In 1966, Jamaica witnessed the arrival of Haile Selassie. Garvey's prophecy of a black king now seemed made flesh before the eyes of all Jamaicans.
Every day, they made their work so hard.
The right thing upon earth is Rastafari. That means regardless which rights a man have, if him not dealing with Rastafari, will reveal himself, because when Christ same shall return as the King of Kings.
Our frighten them, our frighten them, come on. Give us the teachings of His Majesty, so stick up. We no one, no devil, philosophy, can you hear? Give us the teachings of His Majesty. We no want no harder ideology.
As he drove by, Rita, Bob's wife, swore she saw the stigmata, or sign of the crucifixion, on Selassie's hand. Like many of his countrymen, Bob became convinced Selassie was Christ come again as Jesus.
Like that much, I want to see it as signs of the time and judgment. But I know the only thing is Rastafari, because, you know, God no make mistake. And when him say I come as the King of Kings, no guy can come that way. It's him come, so. You know. So that is how I view them things.
After Selassie left, the Rastafarian influence spread rapidly. In defiance of the baldheads, or non-believers, Rastas grew their hair into dreadlocks. For Bob, his dreadlocks were a declaration of his faith. Dread meant dreadful, as in fear and praise of the Almighty, as ordered in Leviticus 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
Rasta going to die tomorrow. Every Rasta man deal with life forever, in this time. See? So, then Moses and the man laid down the rules. When you take a vow to be a Nazareth, you must make the locks of your hair grow. Now we dreadlocks, all your dreadlocks now, it keep it to yourself. In a sense, if it was a trim and shave, maybe that end up in a pure nightclub at night time, and you kind of accept it amongst the wicked. So when you dread now, you kind of have a confidence to stay and don't get corrupt, because it's not everywhere you go, people gonna like it. So you're conscious of that, so you stay within yourself. And when it's God you deal with, regardless of what men and people want to say.
Rise, O falling fighters, rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away, lives to fight another day. At the heathen that day, try to put the heathen that day. At the heathen back again, on the wall of the heathen that day. As a man, so shall he reap, and I know that talk is cheap. But the hotter the battle, come a sweeter to victory. How do you hear that day? On the wall of the heathen that day. How do you hear that day? On the wall of the heathen that day. On the wall.
and the Rasta elders prophesied that Jesus would come again, but in another name.
Because everything God say is truth. Him say seek him first, and everything shall be added. You know? Some people are searching for Jesus, but Jesus don't come again. Jesus will tell us him I come in a new name. And so him couldn't come again as Jesus. So at the time when him come as Rastafari. No God, no partial.
Rise, oh, rise, oh, rise, oh, rise, oh. Rise and take the stance again. Is he who fight and run away? Live to fight another day.
He was convinced that the powers of the West were deceived by looking for the Redeemer in the name of Jesus.
Pope call him so, the Queen call him so, everyone call him so. Same saying don't want that name Rastafari. Which, when him say new name come, it shall be dreadful and terrible among the heathen. So the beauty about it now is that all people must hear of Rastafari and the truth must go to them.
The Rastas believed the heathen tried to oppress the true soldiers of Jah, but in the final battle, these fallen fighters would see the triumph of their victory.
Ooh, yeah, we're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, we're jamming. So I hope you are jamming tonight. Ain't no rules, ain't no vow. You can jam it anyhow. I and I will see you through. Cause every day we pay the price. We're the living sacrifice. Jamming till the jam gets through. Ooh, yeah, we're jamming. To think of jamming was a thing of the past. We're jamming, we're jamming. And I hope this jam is gonna last. No bullet could stop us now, we need a bed, now we won't bow. Neither can be bought nor sold. We all defend the right, Jah children must unite. Life is worth much more than gold.
By 1974, Bob had to deal with disunity within his own band. Two of the original Wailers, bass singer Peter Tosh and boyhood friend Bunny Livingston, quit the group.
And we're jamming right straight from yon. We're shaking Holy Mount Zion. Holy Mount Zion.
Putting together a powerful new lineup featuring the I3s, a female vocal trio that included his wife Rita, Bob and the Wailers blistered through the stadiums and concert halls of Europe. His revolutionary sound won admirers throughout the continent, but his journeys exposed him to the great differences between his own people and those in the West.
You know, people deal with God. That means they want God. That means God reveal himself. Him so kindness and give land and tell the people in the West and care. So, you know, it shouldn't be really no obstacle again. The whole thing is Rastafari's roots. You know, and that is in communicating with people, let them know, say, you're welcome, you know what I mean? This is the land. Like in give them Africa, show them, say, this is your land. The people in the West.
The competitive materialism Bob witnessed on his tours further convinced him of the need of his people to return to their African roots.
When you check the West, you know, you can't say like the West overbuilt, you know. I tell you, it overbuilt. Because when a man have a 90-story high, that means we can have a land to spread out, right? And see Africa, as far as you can look, it's pure land. That means when I see people suffering in the West, especially the black people, I say it really looks silly. It's really foolish. Because what does the West have for more than some music? I mean, the today music. That's all I'm going on here now. Today music. Because I don't see anything else. Saying, and when you're looking at Africa now, Africa just stay a wait. For those who really know how to develop and know, say, it's not themselves them I deal with now, like a man only I deal with to just feed himself. It's a people, survival of a whole nation of people, black people. Because we scatter, you know.
But back in Jamaica, not everybody embraced the teachings of His Majesty, and in Kingston and throughout the island, civil war raged between rival political factions. And now that Bob had become an international celebrity, politicians sought to use him as a pawn in their power struggles.
Well, you know, you see, God is good, you know. So when man try to turn God and become a devil, God is God already. So it's when a man try to become God and become a devil, and I fight against God. So wickedness is not the will of God, man. It's the will of men. The devil do them things. Because if you follow the ways of God, everything is righteous. Man destroy his own self.
When Marley returned to his Kingston home, hustlers, gangsters and politicians crowded out the true Rastas. On the night of November the 25th, 1976, assassins crept into his Hope Street mansion and opened fire. Bob, along with Rita and his manager Don Taylor, were among those hit.
Trying to belittle our activity now.
The headlines rocked the world, but miraculously all three survived.
It's just what they teach us.
Bob believed he had been protected by the power of His Majesty. He felt an even closer bond with Selassie when soon after the shooting, the Emperor's son gave him Selassie's black jeweled ring. It became Bob's most prized possession, which he felt gave him mystical power. Meanwhile, one by one, those who had sought his death were tracked down and killed. Throughout the Caribbean, Bob's people knew, verse by verse, the legend of Ham, one of Noah's 3 sons. In Genesis, chapter 9, it is said, "And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brethren without." It was believed that Ham's first brother, Japheth, started the white race in Europe, his second, Shem, fathered the peoples of Asia, and Ham brought his curse to all his descendants in Africa.
Ham get a curse. Ham must come and cleanse himself of the curse. So when him see a chance to get back his birthright, which is his land, Mother Africa, Mother Ethiopia, Father Ethiopia, anything, then he must have to decide whether he's going to stay and go down with Babylon or he's going to go home. Because Babylon must fall. Yeah, because the Bible says Israel was once a solid, unified nation, and then they started to intermarry and do all kind of things, worship false gods. So also Ham, which is one of the sons of Noah, which is supposed to be the black man, laughed at his father's nakedness when his father was asleep and drunk, and God put a curse on Ham, which is the curse that we have been experiencing for all these years. So it's up to us now to lift ourselves out of the gutter. You know, who want to stay still, but who want to come out. Man is born as man. Man is just man. some man evolved into whatever. Man grew, man was one man. Then God said, well, how we going to make we procreate? So he make a next man, but a different kind of man, and call it woman, which is from man. So the two of them must come together now to carry on the life of man. So them procreate and more people come with different minds because there's one mind. But the devil want try and do anything what God can do, so he make more mind. So you have different minds. So Ham, Shem and Japheth are three different minds, three different people. Ham get the curse.
Africa, unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our father's land.
Bob warned that no matter how hard the black man tried, he could never escape his fate. Ham's punishment was to serve his two brothers, and that was why the black man has been in service ever since.
Rastaman.
Yeah, because the curse, it states in the Bible that the curse said, you shall serve Shem and Japheth, you shall be their servants. I mean, who's serving who?
Rastaman. We are the children of the I am one.
Well, Africa is not an African word, you know. There's no such word in any African language as Africa. So therefore, you know, Ethiopia, you don't say Africa in the Bible. Ethiopia, the whole Africa was once Ethiopia, but them come and call it Buchanan, Mozambique, Angola, just Africa.
Pleasant it would be before God and man to see the unification of all Africans. Marcus Garvey said it, so let it be done. I know you know who you are.
In 1978, Bob courageously brought the people of Jamaica together with the One Love Peace concert. He joined hands with politicians and demanded peace. The civil war between his people had to end. Later, in the serenity of his beloved countryside, Bob meditated and came to the realization that all races could come together if only they would turn to Jah.
Rastafari had the roots, roots. Rastafari had the root. Rastafari had God, you know. See, you know, there's God for one people in it still. My God for all people. See? My God for all people. So, this is the struggle we have now. Because God not partial. God black. See? God black. And him not partial. Man, I'm a God for the China man. And I'm a God for the Indian. And I'm a God for the white man. And I'm a God for the black man.
The teachings of Vernon Carrington, or Gadmon as he was commonly known, increasingly influenced Rasta thinking. As leader of the influential 12 Tribes of Israel sect, he taught that the human race had been divided into 12 tribes, and that from these, the chosen 144,000 would be saved on the Day of Judgment.
I'm telling you how to do it too. Says 12 tribes. Show you it's easy, it's 12 months. 12,000, it's easy. 12,000 from every month. You get 144,000. I deal with the one thing. It's all over. God power come on earth and everything finished. One time we never know these things, but we're glad we know them today. So you can see everything really come near and near. And what we are saying, it's always not the Bible, it's not something new. It's something not the Bible.
Gadman also told of how the white man had rewritten the Bible to fit his own beliefs, such as replacing the Egyptian calendar with that of the Romans.
And so God not partial because the Bible, you could have said King James edit one of them, the King James version. But the truth remains the same. It might kind of change it. Like he wouldn't put the 12 months straight, he put January and put December next. So, you know what I mean, you couldn't really know. You have to know it's April, May, June. You know, tricky. We have a study to find out. Well, here goes a man who studied named Garvey from Jamaica.
Even though Selassie was assassinated in a bloody coup in 1974, Bob and all Rastas were convinced that he still lived on. To them, Selassie was God, and no man could kill God.
No, Haile Selassie can never die. Saying Haile Selassie can't die. The man who create life can't die. Because, you know, it's just truth. It's Christ him come as the King of Kings, you know. So no guy can overthrow him.
Bob also believed that one day Selassie would rule the earth and shine the light of truth to all those who would turn to him.
That's the idea, you know. That's the idea. Be not afraid, because Christ's government shall rule the earth. You know, Christ's government shall rule the earth. That means, as I did the repatriation for going to Africa for restore our father roots. Because it's another hold it. Because even in Ethiopia, you know, a man lives so near to his majesty that him never see him as who he is. Him broke him down to like a man.
Every man got the right to decide his own destiny. And in this judgment there is no partiality. So arm in arms with arms, we'll fight this little struggle, yes. 'Cause that's the only way we can overcome our little trouble. Brother, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're so right. We gon' fight, we gonna fight, we'll have to fight, fighting for our rights. Mash it up in a Zimbabwe, set it up in a Zimbabwe. Africans are liberate Zimbabwe. I liberate Zimbabwe. No more internal.
By 1980, the cancer had spread from Bob's injured foot to the rest of his body. He knew his time on Earth was coming to a close. So when he was invited to perform at the Independence Day ceremonies in Zimbabwe, in the heart of Africa, he eagerly accepted. Bob felt he had returned to his spiritual homeland. Like all Rastas, he believed that all Africans had once been united as Ethiopians.
That means, it really means again that the people have to unite with His Majesty. Forget Africa, for name Ethiopia again. As easy as that. Because when they name Ethiopia, man start coming and capture. And when them capture, them just capture, unite them capture and call it Africa. But whenever capture, still name Ethiopia, that means it's like a man have your herb, you know, when I take it away. But where you live with, is it name herb still, you know? And him can just take this and call it something else.
Their beats are so soon we'll find out who is the real revolutionaries. I don't want my people to be tricked by mercenaries. Brother, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're so right. We gonna fight, we'll have to fight, we gonna fight.
So the only way Africa can name Ethiopia again is that the Africans have to unite for the Ethiopia. The ways of His Majesty, not the ways of the Russian, nor the American. No socialism, no communism, no capitalism. African, you know. Christ. This is where God come from, you know. A God we are dealing with, you know. Sometimes, you know, people broke it down like a man. But a God, it's really everything we really sit down and discuss God. You know? Because it's God. Rastafari.
As Bob neared his time of destiny with His Imperial Majesty, he prophesied of a coming Armageddon between the forces of capitalism and communism.
Right, you know, what caused the problem now is because it's two different powers, right? Well, none of them don't have no power. The power belongs unto His Majesty, who is God. So what they must do now, acknowledge the truth and know says God ways for run everywhere and deal with this in a that way. It can't be done in a different way because even if a man even fight with him outside, he must fight the next time again. So it better be the last Armageddon, which is the last Armageddon. This is the Armageddon. Because the consciousness, every man must fight for consciousness this trip. It's not it's not really boxing. The people who invent capitalism, them dead from in the 16th century, but the capitalism still around the place. The guy who invent communism, him dead from the 17th century with cancer and all them thing there. And the main thing is that everyone a fight about. Now here come Rastafari, who never need a bow to America, nor a bow to Russia, for build up no nuclear thing, for really have that kind of, you know, he must remain God. So it's man conscience, you know.
Rise up, falling fighters. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away, live to fight another day.
Bob predicted that the white race, empowered by nuclear technology, would destroy themselves unless they turned to Jah.
You have Africa, America, and Russia. That's going to do how the fight always go. Because through the black man have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you know. The white man get the gift of technology. But when him use it now, him never use it now, right? Him use it for build weapon for kind of, figure say, for him ideas of God, which can't work. But until black people unite before the white man can see who him really a deal with, kind of like him in a dream of, just a dream, because the black people is not together. Because the black man get the knowledge, get the gift of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And him ask to ever live in life too. So this is where I go on. God black people for unite, and God power come home. And all people right. So it's going on. As easy as that. Well, you know, all them things there. You see, we know a greater power than nuclear. I think name earthquake, lightning and thunder. So you see, the nuclear thing is to just keep the people away from God. Believe that man can destroy the earth. Man can only destroy himself. So we're not afraid for nuclear. Them things there is only to keep the people fear. You fear that men have such great power that them can, you know, that can't work. Them only threaten innocent people's life. That cannot work. The way I see it, I love life. See? So I look out at the earth now and I say, well, then I have to live forever. Now the only way I can live forever is to know God and do what God says. And no man can fight that. So when I look out and I see His Majesty, you know, and without time to reveal that He is God. So it's a life, you know. It's not saying it's just a natural, it's not like a natural thing a man just saying, I'm going to be a Rasta and I'm going to die tomorrow. Every Rasta man deal with life forever in this time.
Feel it in the one drop, and we still find time to rob. We're making a one stop. The generation gap. So feel this drum resisting against the system, singing, I know Jah never let us.
By the late 70s, Bob's fame had reached all corners of the globe. He became the voice for the oppressed. His records sold millions. His tours sold out. And from Asia to America, Africa to Europe, he sang of the message of Jah, bringing the Rastafarian faith to the attention of the world. The religion which provided the focus for Bob's life and music incorporated the teachings of the Old Testament, Garvey's call for repatriation, and the belief in the divinity of the Emperor Haile Selassie. But its fundamental message was of peace, love, and understanding. Bob's status as an international celebrity had increasingly attracted those seeking to exploit his popularity for their own gain.
They say what we know is just what they teach us, and we're so ignorant, 'cause every time they can reach us through political strategy, they keep us hungry, and when you're gonna get some food.
His refusal to be controlled by others had almost cost him his life.
Well, ambushed in the night, all guns aiming at me.
Bob had never ceased speaking out against the oppressors, using his influence to highlight the exploitation of the black race.
Africa, unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our father's land.
He had been instrumental in the staging of the historic One Love peace concert, organized to bring about unity among his people.
Before God and man, to see the unification of all Rastaman.
Despite his declining health, Bob had worked and performed relentlessly, but eventually the effects of his illness began to take their toll. His decision to forego established medical treatments only served to hasten the devastating effects of the cancer. And on May the 11th, 1981, Robert Nesta Marley finally lost his battle. During his brief lifetime, he had risen from the ghettos of Kingston to become one of the most influential performers the world has ever seen. Through his music and words, he had almost single-handedly brought the sounds of reggae and the message of Rastafari to millions around the globe. But despite his fame, he never lost touch with his own humanity and his vision of a better, more just world for all people, regardless of their race, creed, or color. In the end, he put his faith in the immortal words of the Emperor. Until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, the rule of international morality will remain a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never attained.
Jamming, I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, and I hope you like